In this first section of the letter of James, he shows us how the Christian can engage in suffering in a way that has us rooted and grounded in joy. He says this: "Count it all joy, my brothers and sisters, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." So James is showing us here that we can have joy in the midst of suffering, and the reason we can is because we can view our suffering as a test of our faith, which is building steadfastness. Another way of phrasing that is that it builds endurance. The language that he's using here is like an athlete or a sports person who is preparing for a fight or preparing for a run or a game. And what they do is they build strength to build endurance so that they can be prepared for that game or prepared for that fight. And what is it that the endurance that is being built in us during that suffering is leading us towards? What is it preparing us for? Well, in verse 4, it says the result of that endurance is that it leads us towards perfection and completion. In essence, it leads us towards being more like Jesus. That is the work of God that he does in all of his children. He makes us more and more like Jesus day by day. He conforms us into the likeness of his Son. And a huge way, a dramatic way, a really fruitful way he does that is through our suffering. And so in the midst of our suffering, we can have joy because we know it is not wasted. We know that God isn't kind of just trying to get us out of there as quick as he can. God is using that suffering to bring about its full effect as we build endurance, and that full effect is to be more like his Son, Jesus. And the more we are like Jesus, the more peace in life we experience, the more contentment in life we experience, the more of the love of the Father we know to be true. All of these things are things that we want as we walk in the Christian life. So the essence of the passage this morning is this. If we are walking in suffering, if we are walking in trials, James is telling us here that trial, what we are receiving as we go through that trial, as we go through that suffering, is better than the absence of that trial. What we receive is Jesus. We receive a character which is more like him, which is infinitely better than the suffering itself. Take hope in that if you are enduring pain, if you are enduring trial at the moment, that God is in the midst of it and he is working out his good purposes. And in that, we can have great joy.